Okay there, so I'm back. Usual tremor, just very slight. Or, I mean, it's not slight, but like it's different. It's just my usual tremor, primarily. Still a little bit like, bleh. My body's still a little bit jolted. So it's been 15 minutes since I had some juice. And I've been eating some cashews, and this is sugar-free chocolate made with monk fruit and stevia. But I'm not going to get into that. It doesn't tend to spike my blood sugar, and I want something yummy. So anyway, now I'm much more okay. I mean, oh, I just checked my blood sugar. It's 84 now. So it started coming back up. Don't know what it got to by the time I drank the juice. That was like 3 minutes after I started, so a lot can happen during that time. I have been having these crashes my whole life, pretty much. I have another family member who has this happen. Neither of us have ever known what to do about it, except to try to manage it the best we can. Which is primarily eating no sugar or sweets and processed foods and refined sugars, which my family didn't anyway, so that was not, I wouldn't say easier, but it was what we did. So it was more like if I went somewhere and ate something not what my family normally ate. And then as I got older, I pretty much kept the same diet because honestly, I feel horrible when I don't. I mean, when I have anything that causes me to spike and crash, which is usually anything more refined. So, as I think probably most people know, that kind of thing can increase your glucose more. And as I said, for me, the higher, the faster it goes down. Especially like the faster it goes up, the faster it goes down. And it's very uncomfortable. It is not just uncomfortable for me by the time it gets low, but it's that whole time it's crashing. That's really, I feel really horrible. And I didn't know until I got this continuous glucose monitor that it was going as high as it, well, I did because of my glucometer, I caught it a couple times, but most of the time I was checking it when I felt like it was low. So that was the difference. I didn't realize it was going higher than normal as well. I don't like that it's doing that. It's frustrating. I'm sure you can imagine. It's frustrating finding out that it's going too high also. I'm not diabetic. I do have a normal insulin response. Well, I don't know what normal is exactly. In this case, something's not normal. So, but I talked to my endocrinologist this week. My labs look good, meaning there's no pathology going on. And so there's nothing they can do about it, basically. Which, it's not that I want to take more meds. I already take enough meds. But it's also, basically, she said, well, you're doing a good job managing it. And it's like, well, okay, but it is so hard. I've been trying to manage this my whole life. The last 5 years has probably been the best. I have been on a low carb, no refined, well, no sweeteners, eating plan. I don't like to say diet. Eating disorder passed. And I always eat every 3 to 4 hours. And I oftentimes had to get up in the middle of the night and eat something. And I always ate right before bed. And I really had to learn to just ignore what people say about, like, you will sleep better if you don't eat before bed and all this kind of stuff, which I had to learn that, like, that's stupid bullshit. If you gotta go with you, right? Okay, so that's one thing I learned. I also learned later that I have a different sleep schedule, which also matters. However, I'm also very aware now that a lot of my crashing happens in my sleep. Or let's just say it does every night, unless I get up and eat something. I'm trying to look at more things. I really think the adrenaline response with the POTS is probably having a lot to do with things. because then, but I mean, it used to be like this when I was younger, and one of my 5 main triggers for my seizures, which I have epilepsy and would have tonic-clonic seizures or grand mal seizures and simple partial seizures if I was not on 2 or 3 medications. I only take the 3rd one sometimes. Well, I take it on a schedule, let's just say that. For when I'm most likely to have seizures. So I have almost no partial seizures now. I haven't had a tonic-clonic seizure in a really long time. And I'm so grateful. But one of my main triggers was in the middle of the night with my blood sugar crashing. And I knew it was that because if I ate any sugar, you know, something refined, like even just during the day, but especially at night, then I would generally have a seizure in my sleep that morning, meaning about like 6 a.m., something like that. And that's when I tend to crash, between 6 a.m. and noon. I've gotten to see all this with a continuous glucose monitor. Now I have a doctor who gets to see all this. Honestly, I just don't think there was much to do about it until we came out, or till these continuous glucose monitors with alarms came out, because it just is like, it's so hard to manage, and I did my best, but I spent a lot of time resting, I realized, when I actually was like just in like a low blood sugar daze. And I don't like that. I don't like thinking about it now when I realize that I get up after 2 hours and I'm like, oh wait, that was not like, that was because I like couldn't think and get up. And so Danny's the one that started doing that a couple days ago. He tried to get me up, and luckily I've learned now that when he's trying to get me up and I'm like, go away, leave me alone, I don't want to get up, and I feel absolutely lethargic, it's like, oh, that's when I should get up and go have something. So I have stuff next to my bed now, and I've always brought food with me when I go places because I know all about all this. I realized recently that I guess nobody else knew about all of it very much. I guess they didn't know that, like, why I have to manage things and why I have such a strict, you know, food plan, and have so many things that I don't eat, and I'm so careful about like never going very long without eating and all of that. So, you know, but honestly, a lot of times with these crashes, I would just get into a daze, and then it takes me a while to realize that I need to eat something, you know, and so I'd be trying to keep my blood sugar as stable as possible by, you know, eating just the right way and stuff in a certain amount, but then it was still happening a lot, and when I got the CGM, it became very clear that it was still happening a lot, even with me trying to manage it. So with the alarms, it's a lot better, but it is seriously hard work, and I'm just like, it's really hard to do this. If there's anything that I can do to make it not so difficult, every couple hours of having to deal with this stuff, I'd really like that. And I've had way fewer low glucose incidents, but this week I've had about 5 or 6 in the last few days because of, which means below 70 for an extended amount of time, because I've been just flustered, and then I tend to crash and not realize it or not do anything about it. I've been just like ignoring my alarm. That's been the problem when I'm tired. So anyway, really think it's important that I don't do that. Somebody said to me the other day, well, what's the problem with having low blood sugar when you're asleep? And I was kind of like, I don't think it's good for my brain. So that's where I am with that.